You have a family. They love you. Your parents worked themselves to the bone so you could have a chance they never did. Your sister texts you photos of her dog on Sunday evenings and it makes you laugh out loud. Your brother is a little lazy, sure, but he's family. But here you stand in front of all of them, throwing their case folder on the table. My name is Tara Weston. I'm a lawyer. I built my own firm in Knoxville from nothing. Grew up poor in Harlan County, Kentucky, with my mom, my dad, my brother Blake, and my sister Beth. I left at 18, never looked back. I thought they were all proud of me, but something changed and I had no idea why. Honestly, life was good. My firm was doing well. I had great friends. I owned my building. I thought I had the world figured out. But then at a family dinner 3 months before I found that folder, Blake casually asked me, "So the building on Market Square, bought outright or financed? How does a firm your size handle liability insurance? What's the actual structure of the business?" I answered everything. I was relaxed. I was with my family. Then mom called and said, "Have you updated your will? Who are your beneficiaries?" Then dad mentioned running into my accountant at a community event, a man I had never mentioned to my family by name. But how would he know who my accountant was? My family just stopped making sense. I was trying to brush it off, telling myself I was just being paranoid. Beth worked as a secretary at a small building company, so I picked her up after work and we went shopping, then grabbed a drink. She mentioned that Blake had been coming around to visit mom and dad a lot lately. I said, well, that's good. He never really did before. Jack, the man I loved and had been with for 2 years, proposed. We took a trip to Mexico with our closest friends to celebrate. I couldn't bring myself to tell my family. It had been a week since I got back from Mexico. I needed to see them, so I stopped at a small bakery on the way and picked up eclairs, mom's favorite. We sat down for tea, and I don't know what happened. Something about sitting at that table with them just broke open something inside me. I started crying. I told them about Jack, about the proposal, about Mexico, told them something had felt off lately and I just needed to know if everything was okay. Mom put her hand on mine and said, "Everything is fine, honey. Everything is fine." Dad nodded. Beth smiled. They congratulated me and said we should all go out with Jack and celebrate. I told them Jack had a lake house and it would be nice to celebrate there together. I was at my parents' house. Mom was out. Dad was resting. I went into his office to grab a USB cable and I found this folder. It said on the cover, Tara Christine Weston, subject, female. I didn't even get it at first. My hand stopped working. I open it and on page 1, Mom, Dad, Blake, Beth, all 4 of them. They hired a PI, paid $4,200 to dig through my entire life looking for something wrong with me, and they found nothing. Of course they did. But on page 44, Blake's handwriting in the margin, so she's clean. Now what? I sat on the floor, the wall clock ticked, and 6 minutes passed before I could move. I took out my phone and photographed every single page. Mom came home. I didn't say anything to her, helped her with the groceries, then drove home and called Priya. Priya was my best friend from law school, forensic accountant, sharpest person I know. She told me to send her everything and not to say a word to anyone about the folder. Next morning, she calls me back. First thing she said, "What does your brother actually do for money?" I said something about property, some investment thing, and she said, "I need 2 weeks. Can you go 2 weeks without calling your family?" Thanksgiving was right in the middle of those 2 weeks. I skipped it for the first time in my life, told Mom I had a work conflict. That was on a Thursday.